Somerset moved back to the top of Group B in the Royal London One Day Cup after Peter Trigo struck his second successive century to lead his side home by 6 wickets with 10 balls to spare against the Middlesex Panthers at Lord's. Marcus Trescothick had no hesitation in inserting the hosts after he won the toss in what appeared to be good conditions to bowl in, and Chris Rogers was dropped in the slips off Alfonso Thomas at the start. But that was all either Rogers or his partner David Milan offered in a large but patient opening stand. They may have started with caution, hitting only 2 fours in the 10 overs of power play, those overs bringing just 24 runs, but having got themselves in, the two left-handers just started to open up a bit, although they still had plenty of work to do, with the total reading 98 without loss at the halfway stage of the innings, with neither batsman yet to a half-century. Somerset's bowlers gave very little away in what was a disciplined performance from them. Both batsmen did get to their 50s in the same over, the 26th. Milan was there first off his 83rd delivery, an innings containing 5 fours. Having played with such care, he and Rogers needed to go on. Rogers was raising his bat just 3 balls later as he found the boundary for just the 4th time from the 72 deliveries he'd faced. He was starting to open up now though. And in trying to do so, he was the first out, bowled on the sweep by Johan Myberg for 52 to end the partnership at 108 in the 27th over. Milan was put down in the slips as he tried to get a wriggle on with new man Paul Stirling. The feeling was that this green-tinged pitch would only improve as the day wore on, and so these two really needed to push on now. They added 55 runs in 9 overs. But then the Panthers had a wobble to set them back after Thomas yorked Stirling for a runner ball 29. Owen Morgan came and went in the space of 6 balls, mistiming a drive off Tim Groenewald that was caught at deep cover by Jack Leach. Milan had moved on to 82 when he was the first to be involved in 2 run-outs featuring Ryan Higgins. He refused to budge when his partner set off after driving to Trescothick. And then Higgins set off for a quick single, only for Neil Dexter to be given out as Myberg glanced the stumps from close in. Dexter, though, was unlucky. When John Simpson then nicked off to Groenewald, Middlesex had lost 5 wickets for 26 runs in 6 overs. They now slipped to 189 for 6 in the 42nd over. It was those overs which ultimately cost them, although Higgins tried to make amends for the run-outs by driving Lewis Gregory for a 6, and Ollie Rayner made the most of a short boundary on the grandstand side of the ground with another maximum. The damage had been done. These two put on 48 runs in 7 overs, only for Higgins to hole out off Gregory in the penultimate one as the Panthers ended their 50 overs on 255 for 7, Rayner making 37 off 32 balls. It wasn't the best start to the Somerset reply, however. Nick Compton edged Toby Rowland-Jones's 5th delivery behind, and after Trescothick had clipped Tim Murtagh for a 6, the Somerset skipper played a loose shot to give Simpson a second catch off Rowland-Jones. That left Somerset on 33 for 2 at the end of 10 overs, but after getting himself in, Trigo, fresh from his ton in the win over Warwickshire last time out, looked to increase the rate with this 6 off Dexter. It was Colin Ingram, however, who gave the innings real impetus. Twice in 2 balls, the left-hander sent deliveries from Rayner over the rope, just as the required run rate was moving up towards 7 per over at the halfway stage of the reply. Somerset just needed a few good overs to ease up their chase. In the same Rayner over, Trigo completed his half-century off 78 balls, an innings including 4 fours and 1 6. As with the 100 against the Bears, Trigo had initially taken his time before playing his shots. Ingram was at his half-century in the 32nd over, by the end of which the target had been reduced to 115 off 18. Ingram had used up 66 balls for his 50, from which he'd hit 2 sixes and 3 fours. He was just about up with Trigo's score when he pulled this ball from Murtagh over the short boundary for his 3rd maximum. At the other end, Trigo was timing his innings to perfection. He had an additional reason to impress as he was playing in front of one of his heroes, John Cleese, who is possibly the second most famous man to be born in the seaside town of Weston-super-Mare after Peter Trigo. The two were to meet in the visitors' dressing room later, something Cleese must have been thrilled about after watching Trigo move into the 90s with this six. His partnership with Ingram had realised 162 runs in 31 overs when the latter was out for 68, mishitting a shot off Harry Podmore to Morgan at mid-on. But a couple of overs later, Trigo was at his excellent 100, one made off 127 balls with 7 fours and 2 sixes included. He is loving this 50-over competition, as is his team, which was by now nearing their third win from 5, one which will give them a great chance of making it through to the last 8 again. Trigo described that moment as one of the most special of his career, and he celebrated by helping this ball from Milan over the rope for his third maximum. 2 more fours followed in the next over as the target was reduced to just 32 off the last 6 overs, but then Middlesex were given a lift when Trigo toe-ended a shot off Podmore to be caught by Murtagh on a brilliant 120. Trigo had just about taken his side home and was probably disappointed that he wasn't able to finish the game off. That was left instead to James Hildreth and Alex Barrow, who struck a flurry of boundaries to ensure that there was no way back for the Panthers. 2 fours off successive balls took Somerset home with 10 unused, Barrow making 26 off 19 to ensure that this was a rather comfortable win in the end for the visitors, who then celebrated with that special Monty Python star in their dressing room. The parrot may be a dead one, but Somerset's chances of reaching the quarter-finals are very much alive after this 6-wicket win. They sit on top of Group B ahead of their next game, which is at home against Sussex on Sunday. Middlesex have it all to do if they want to qualify. They now head to Hove on Friday for a day-nighter.